Hi there, it's me, Dr. Stacy Betancourt, with another edition of Making Sense with Dr. Stacy. I first want to wish all the moms out there a happy Mother's Day. Um, Hopefully, you've had wonderful, unique breakfasts brought to you in bed, um, or your family's doing something to celebrate you. So, that's kind of also the backdrop of today's discussion about happiness. So here's the thing. Not that long ago, I talked about joy and what it does for you and why it's important in the world and life we live in. But with joy, joy and happiness are synonyms of each other, synonym meaning kind of same. So the thing is that we are kind of in a quandary as far as life is concerned, because on the one hand, we're kind of, life is coming at us really fast, right? You have expectations and you have deadlines and you're pulled here and you're pushed there. And, you can't even sometimes take a breath for yourself. And yet there's all of this advertising coming out at us as, self-care, and we've got to take care of ourselves, and self-care this and self-care that. And I've seen the tagline used in everything from shampoo commercials to apps that help you breathe, and um, you know places where you can get a massage or a pedicure, and exercising, self-care everywhere. Well, and those are great, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing, because I really believe in the old term, the old phrase, you can't take care of others unless you take care of yourself. And that's key, especially with moms. But you know what? It's all of us. If we don't sometimes take time to do the things that bring us happiness, we can't really be good for anyone for too terribly long, because it begins to drain on you. And before you know it, you may not even realize until you are at the edge, like ready to lose it. So the thing is, is it okay to do things that bring you joy? And the answer to that is yes. Do the things that make you happy, because that, I'll tell you, it's so good for you, because there's so many things I will bet on a given day you're doing that you really don't want to do. I mean, for example, how many of you are sitting in your car in front of your work in the morning thinking, I don't want to be here, but I have to because I have bills to pay and I have responsibilities. And yes, those are things that are very important. But that also may be a sign that you're not giving yourself enough downtime to do the things you really enjoy doing, the things that bring you happiness, the things that bring you fulfillment. And yes, the things that exercise self-care. Now, self-care can be used in a quasi-medical kind of terminology where it's not really medical, but getting that pedicure, getting that massage, the things that happens to your body, the positive hormones that get released from your brain that make you feel good, all of those things are valid. And yet we're not taking enough time for ourselves. And it's super important to try and do one thing that makes you happy every day. And it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be small, it just has to be something. It's interesting how we have Mother's Day and Father's Day, and these are days that we're supposed to segregate for the parents out there as a day to honor who they are and what they do for us. And it also should be a time to meditate and a time to reflect on moms and dads. What are you doing for yourselves on, a daily, weekly basis that brings you joy? And yes, you can do them daily. It's okay. Whatever it is, working out, for women, getting your hair done, getting the pedicures, getting the massages, men, yes, and I'm going to gender gentrify this, but yeah, men going and playing golf, heck, women going and playing golf, whatever it is that makes you happy. Bottom line is you got to do it, and you need to do it. And here's the thing: how many of you out there have taken a moment or time for yourself, and you find yourself, and I don't care what it is, you find yourself clock watching? Oh my gosh, I've been at this too long, or I've got to get back to reality. I've got to go do what and you're starting to feel guilty, and you're starting to build up these emotions where you're not feeling so good about the fact that you took time for yourself. If you ever experience those feelings of guilt associated with doing something that makes you happy, then I'm going to guess you're not getting enough of that time. And we all fall into the trap. I've done the same thing. I have been mindlessly wandering the mall or a store or anything, and I catch myself thinking, I've been at this too long. I gotta hurry. I gotta go home. I gotta go do this, and stop. Okay, you have got to give yourself a chance to be happy every day. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be small. It can be, instead of sitting in your car thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to get out of the car, and I really don't want to go inside, and I don't like what I do, and I have no passion. How about having a beverage that makes you happy? No, not, certain things that go afterward. I'm talking about something as simple as having a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, water, whatever it is, taking a moment to put yourself in a calm environment, something that allows you to think about the positives in your life, to make a plan with yourself to do something special for yourself. Because sometimes we forget that. And the more you forget, the harder it is to take the time, and the harder it is to enjoy it while you're doing it. I have friends who go to Disneyland frequently, and I love that they get to go as frequently as they do. It's a place that brings them joy. It's a place that brings them happiness. And it's their place where they can just be. And I'm not saying you need to go to an amusement park, but if that's what you want to do, then do it. Go for it. If it's going and watching a movie, and you don't want to have to go through the battle of, well, I want to see this and I want to see that, go see a movie that you want to see, and be okay with going by yourself, because you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. If you want to go with a bunch of friends who want to see the same movie, then great, go for it. If you want to go out and go for a walk, go for it. If you want to go to the beach and sit on the sand and watch the ocean, go for it. Do you see what I'm saying? Do something that brings you happiness. Do it as frequently as you can, because I'm going to put this out here. The more you reward yourself for a job well done, the easier the job to get done gets. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, doing what you love, doing something that brings you joy, makes the times in our life when we have to do things that we don't necessarily want to do, but we have to do it in order to sustain our lives. It makes it that much easier. So, people out there, I make you a challenge. Know what that one thing is that brings you joy. Heck, know the many things that bring you joy. And give yourself the gift to do them more often. Because I'm guaranteeing you, the more often you allow yourself to do them, the easier time you're going to have with the things that just a little bit harder to do. So there's your message for today. Remember to pamper yourself. Remember to give yourself the gift of happiness. Remember to give yourself the gift of doing for yourself for something you want to do, so that when it comes time to the grown-up stuff, the things that have to get done, and the, again, you may have that job. Well, knowing you got something good afterwards makes it that much better. So I challenge you, find that one thing, do it. Find those two things, do it. And let me know how it goes. And if you're having trouble finding those interest things, well, then let's talk. And if you find yourself feeling guilty about doing those things, let's talk. Okay. So this is Dr. Stacy Betancourt, wishing you all a beautiful week. Be good to yourself. Be good to yourself. Do something that brings you joy. Be good to others because they may not know their joy yet. And share when you can. Okay? Take care. I will see you all next week. Have a great week.